Good evening, metalheads and hardcore kids. Welcome to Metal to the Core, a podcast about metalcore, deathcore, hardcore, and so much more. I'm your host, Kevin to the Core. Here with me, like always, is Flex Felix.
In the flesh.
Nice. I like
What's
that.
up, son?
We do have some you just submitted music.
What? Yo, we need a little thing. We need a little soundboard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was saying that off air that we need a soundboard.
Yo, we need a soundboard. You don't want to take that away from me. I will straight up just buzz over your words like fucking 24/7.
What I would love is to get somehow like a Patreon or like a GoFundMe. Hey, you want us to review Saint Anger? You want us to review Hybrid Theory? Send us $1 per review.
And we'll be more than happy to do it. Please fund our stupidity.
So, I don't want to talk shit over the music that is playing right now. Right now, you guys are listening to Abyss Above, the song Flesh.
Yep, Flesh Exposed.
Flesh Exposed.
Which is my Saturday night.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how I roll, baby.
I'd say that's like Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, you know.
Flesh Exposed and Brunch.
Flesh. Oh, you see, that's why we can't go out anymore. That's why we're not allowed in certain establishments. We can't go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore because Flesh Exposed.
Dude, and there is a Chuck E. Cheese down the street.
Which we can't go to.
Yeah. But yeah, I've actually talked about Abyss Above before, this dope deathcore band. What was the other single, Felix, that you have it there?
Let's see. Oh, shit. You know, hold on a second. I want to bring that up really quick because this just happened live, like right now. I'm looking at Flesh Exposed by Abyss Above on Spotify, and out of nowhere, you know, every now and then Spotify lets you know, hey, this just came out. The fucking Killswitch album came out.
I'm surprised it wasn't the countdown.
Dude, I swear to God, I'm tired of bringing this fucking album up on our podcast and not review it.
Oh man.
Anyway, whatever. The other single,
that I had mentioned,
is I want to say is Omega.
No, that's an old EP. Man, I'm so bad.
It has to be because that one came out in July. Omega.
I could have sworn there's another one, and I'm the one talking about it, and I know it's here.
Come on, you got this kind of dicky.
Dude. No, maybe you're right.
It could be. My flesh is not exposed at the moment.
You're right. Yeah. I think it is Omega.
Yeah. Well, I dug it.
Yeah. And it was awesome. But then when they came out with this, with Flesh Exposed, I was like, holy fucking shit. I don't know how a band can improve in just like a single. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I really think and we've talked about it on the podcast before, man, but there's bands that are just talented. And it doesn't matter what genre you're in, you know, if you're good, you're good. And there's a lot of parts to this single, Flesh Exposed, that really turned me on to deathcore. And there's parts of it that don't remind me of deathcore at all. Even though the breakdown is so sick and brutal, it's still very, almost like bouncy. It makes me want to do the like Suicide Silence, you know, really tight jeans and huge white polo, like digging with it and like just jumping.
I remember saying that about Omega, that it was a really bouncy deathcore single.
And
this one
cool.
is even bouncier, even more evil, and still sounds deathcore. Yeah, and I love his highs. His highs, like, to your point of Suicide Silence. Boy, those highs remind me of Mitch Lucker.
R.I.P. bro.
R.I.P. a legend. Hashtag.
Gone too late. Died doing what he loved.
What is that?
I don't fucking know, but look, this song is really cool. And while I'm listening to it, I'm doing the Eagles, you know, the eagle movement with my arms. Like, that's how I feel, you know, because I remember seeing Suicide Silence in a lot of their performances, and it's always like the same kind of bounce. It almost makes me wish I got long hair. So you can see them.
I actually don't know if it says it right here. They're from Slovakia.
Oh shit! I thought you were going to say Australia. I was about to fall up.
No, because I guess I could hear the hint of an accent when it's an Australian band, and kind of like, okay, they come from down under. Yeah. But then for sure I could tell there's an accent, but not enough to know where from, especially fucking Slovakia.
That's pretty dope, though.
But that is amazing.
Boys. Yeah, man.
And that new EP, I want to shout them out. The new EP coming out this Sunday, which is so random. Maybe it's like a time differential or something.
I think it's a deathcore time.
A deathcore thing?
Yeah, it's a deathcore
to come out
thing.
later than Friday?
No, to come out on a Sunday, the most brutal fucking day
that
you can just do. I mean, everyone's at church. Imagine everyone's at church and out of nowhere you just blast the new Abyss Above EP.
And that's where they come out.
Everyone looks at you like, what the fuck?
And that's where they come out. Flesh Exposed and Brunch.
And there you go. And you see, Flesh Exposed, that's just the way to go, man. And the priest is there crying, your mom's never going to take you there anymore.
But yeah, their new EP comes out this August 25th on Sunday called Doombound EP.
Doombound.
Super awesome. And I've seen, let me show you the art. It's pretty dope. It's pretty self-explanatory, like obligatory deathcore.
I mean, you have to have the font. So that's a check.
Right. But I like how the red is very neon.
Yeah, it's almost like a laser.
Makes it like look like laser. So at least it makes it stick out a little bit. But personally, I would have been like, man, if your music sticks out, the art needs to stick out too.
Yeah, well, look, I'm getting like a Matrix type of, satanic ritual type of, feel to it. So I dig it. I can look. My only gripe with it, I can read the font, and I don't appreciate that. Give me a challenge.
I appreciate that. As even a deathcore fan, I'm like, I want to be able to read the fucking band I'm listening to or getting into. So again, that was Abyss Above. I'm not sure at this point if the music is still playing or not because I'm only adding in post-production.
Yeah, bro. All I gotta say is that Kevin specifically wore a tank top just for this EP review or this single review because the flesh was exposed.
Hey, if, Abyss Above, if you want to send me a tank top, I'd wear the shit out of it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But yeah, so that was them. These boys from Slovakia. Check them out. The song again was Flesh Exposed, not Flesh Exposed and Brunch.
No, right. Let's make that clear. That's a remix.
That's just a possible episode title contender. We'll see.
We'll see how everything unfolds.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of this episode. So then after that, now, thank God, we had some user-submitted music. So if anyone out there wants to give us their music, which would be great, but specifically, please send it to us unsigned. You can send it our way to metaltothecorepodcast@gmail.com with a file or a link on our Instagram at metaltothecorepodcast on Instagram. Or if you're on Twitter, you send it just straight to me at Kevin to the Core, and I'll forward it to Felix, and he could shit on it later or on the podcast.
Or approve it. Mostly shit on it.
Mostly shit on it.
Let's be fair.
So I want to do some really fun house cleaning and talk not only specifically about the podcast, since we are on that subject, but forever, Felix, you've been asking for some feedback, well, we have, of it asking for you, hey, give us ratings and reviews. And I've checked, we've gotten some cool ratings, 5 stars. Again, thank you guys. I've only checked on iTunes. I cannot check Google. I don't know why.
Oh, shit.
Right. And on Spotify, I actually can't. I don't think there's a rating system on Spotify yet.
I don't think so. I don't think you can rate or even comment or anything. So
that sucks. And I know Stitcher, we also have, I think 4 or 5 stars. I'm not sure what the full rating is on there either. But, and I find it so funny how we would get YouTube's comments. And it's always like the bands on Instagram, it's the bands that we've talked about. They're like, hey, thanks for the listen. And then they reshare, which is fucking awesome.
We totally appreciate
Thank you guys. And I'm pretty sure Abyss Above is one of them.
Yep.
So at this point, they're friend of the band.
Oh, man. They can expose their
band,
flesh.
Friend of the podcast.
That's right, exactly. They can expose their flesh around us anytime.
Oh, my God. So I thought it was funny how we got in typical funny metal fashion, because even you on the show, you've read funny metal videos.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Comments.
Yeah, I love it.
So I thought it was funny how on our last episode, God fucking damn it, I don't even know the title of our last episode.
Oh, man. It's not You're Not Tool, bro.
Is it that one? You're Not Tool, bro?
This is Slipknotopia, right?
Slipknotify. That's funny.
Slipknotopia. I should have said that. Damn, Slipknotopia.
Slipknotify. On YouTube, I don't want to get the name wrong. Andre Kovaci? Kovaci?
Shout out, Andre.
It's Covaci. So I'm not sure if it's Kovaci or Kovaci.
Let's go with Kovaci, and then if we're wrong, you correct us.
So Andre Kovaci from Belgium.
What?
His comment was just under your boy, Charlie Robbins.
Oh, C-Rob.
C-Rob.
C-Rob in the house. That's my boy, man. We go way back.
So C-Rob, he had said, thanks for the shout out, guys. Appreciate the love and glad you're enjoying the tunes. Which is dope because hopefully in an upcoming episode we will have some other singles to talk about. So other submitted music, which is great.
Yeah.
So back to Andre from Belgium. Andre, he said, "Oi, big fan of the pod." I love how he started.
Wait, I love that shit. Someone's like, "Hey, stop whatever you're doing. I have some shit to say."
I love it. So he said, "Oi, big fan of the podcast. I discovered this podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I have been binge watch the episodes ever since. I love that you went all the way back."
Yeah, dude, I apologize for you, man. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. I really like the opening sections where you guys just discuss stuff before you get to the singles, which is great.
Yeah.
Because like what we're doing right now, just talk shit.
Yeah, man.
Right. And I find it, as a avid podcast listener myself, I find it funner. You get to know the hosts more than their taste. And then this is a comment to you, Felix. He goes, Andre from Belgium. Also, the Too Many Zoos song is really cool. Great shout out for that one.
Fuck yes.
How random. Dude, not even a metal song.
It's Too Many Zoos, man. That song is so goddamn catchy. Anyone will love it. And I'm glad that our boy Andre liked it too.
It's so funny. And I love that he got to some really, how quick he got up after the compliments to some constructive criticism. I don't know if it will help much, but I noticed that you guys didn't have a Facebook page for the podcast, as far as I know. And it might be helpful for promoting the podcast and even making a community. That's a really a good point.
Solid point, yeah.
Now, to counter that, I'd say not many are active on Facebook. Social media are trends, and like the bigger trend right now is Instagram. And I know there's not much of a community on Instagram because you can't really reply back.
Yeah, it's not like a Reddit or anything, yeah.
Right, it's not like a Reddit you can start your own thread. And I know Facebook you can. Now, the problem with Facebook is then you and I, Felix, or one of us, would have to start moderating it. And I really don't want to add to our workload because it's not like we're full-time podcasters. I didn't want to add to the workload that comes with the podcast. Right now, it's fun.
Yeah.
We could do it. Still work. This is part-time, but we do want to start getting more serious with it and maybe out of Twitter for people to start like replying stuff to.
Some tweets.
Facebook, I still want to leave down the back burner. I get to Andre's point of making making it a community. Now, to his point, if he would like, or anyone else listening out there, you and I feel it. Well, actually, no, because you're not on Facebook.
No, I delete that shit.
I am, and I still keep up with a lot of metalhead friends from way back in the Metal Underground days. I don't want to get into that topic. That's literally a whole other podcast itself from metalunderground.com. Big shout out to Doug. But a lot of us there have created this Facebook page and formed a community called Metal People. It's mostly me and the other admin, Dustin, just sharing memes, and it's really funny. But we've created a community of like everyone shares memes, everyone comments on those memes. Maybe some people promote their bands or like, hey, here's a big thing, whatever. Yeah. But the bigger thing is being promoted via a meme. So, of course, the most recent thing has been Tool memes. Right, and they've been great. Yeah. So I would say that instead of us starting our own community, go there. I promote the podcast there. So I'd say go to the Facebook group, Metal Peoples, and you're going to be automatically approved anyways by the admins, which I'm one of the admins. To me, it's easy because, again, I don't really check it that too often. But when I'm there, it's fun. It's memes, talking shit with other people. Hell, a lot of people are South Florida based. So we're like, hey, who's going to this show? Right. And like some people have met up other people. So just like, just cool to know someone else went. Anyone got a picture or whatever. So that's really cool. So let me get back to Andre's really long Facebook comment, which is really funny. He continues after the whole community thing. Either way, keep up the great work. Thank you. Also, I wouldn't mind hearing you guys trash Saint Anger. Fucking hilarious. I cannot believe that.
First of all, hold on a second. Because he just made a pun, and I don't think he even noticed. Right. He said he wants us to trash Saint Anger. Yes, we will trash Saint Anger like Lars Ulrich used a trash can for his goddamn snare drum. We'd be more than happy to trash.
That shit is an infamously known snare sound now.
God damn, dude.
But I know right now we're in this cycle of albums right now that it's really hard to get through everything. But once everything starts slowing down, like around the holidays, and there's like less albums, especially notable ones that we don't really care for, maybe we'll do Saint Anger.
Oh, hey, man.
And hell, like I said up in the top of this episode, maybe we'll do a Patreon or like a GoFundMe. Hey, send us a fucking $1 or $2 or whatever, and we will specifically do a bonus to review Saint Anger.
Whatever, either Saint Anger or if you have another one in mind, you let us know, and we'll review Spice Girls for $1. Man, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
But yeah, so Andre's coming. He finishes with "Cheers from Belgium." Fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So we got a listener in Belgium, and we're just two South Florida guys. And I love his like PS. Also, what do you guys think of the new Humanity's Last Breath? And I know that's not something up your alley.
Not at all.
So to add to that, and my one little tidbit of Andre's YouTube comment, Humanity's Last Breath. I really dug their last album. But my gripe was that I'm not a big fan of that style. It's this genty deathcore Felix that's specifically really fucking slow. So I like it for what it is, but I can't take an album's worth. Mm-hmm. Hell, sometimes I can barely make it through a song. Damn. I like to put on like a song or two maybe at the gym, especially if I'm doing like back, when I'm working out back, so like I could deadlift to it, maybe chest. But it's just too slow. It's way too unnecessarily heavy. I dig it, but it's one of those like, I need to be in the mood for something slow and heavy, which I'm really, because I'm such a big fan of faster gent, more techie stuff, mathcore. So I'm not really in the mood for like slow stuff.
Well, I like that song, Pulsating Black.
That one's cool. And then there's another one of what's the album? Fuck, man, I'm so bad with that.
The Tester?
Abyssal. It's Abyssal.
Oh, yeah.
The last one selected there? Something with Fragda. No, Franga. That one's pretty dope. And there's another one with a V. Vanda.
Oh, okay.
Vanda's good.
Yeah, because he also got an instrumental here, too.
Yeah, I find that so funny.
Yeah.
Like, why would you? Like, you already have vocals. Why? And it's funny. Bands are doing that. Dance Gavin Dance did it not long ago.
When I first my first glimpse to that was of course, intervals. They've gone back and forth with singer, no singer, but protested that very well with their latest album.
True.
And to the fact that you have both the same and so you kind of have the option with or without the vocals. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Sometimes, but let's say if a band that's super, let's say I'd see it coming, but if Animals' leaders decides to do a song with like a vocalist, then I don't think they have. I'm almost positive that they haven't, and I'm glad they haven't.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Chun.
Oh, Chun has definitely done. Blue Dream, Bubble Dream, or Bubblegum or something.
Oh my god, man. Summer Woo or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very catchy song. But anyway, I like Pulsating Black. And to Andre's comment, I dug it for the most part. I agree that it's slow as shit. Yeah. But the irony is that the drums aren't slow. It's the doominess and the nonchalantly just chugs. It's a little overbearing.
Yeah, it's overbearing.
And I see like the intent of being so like brutal. Almost to the point where you can tell it's like overload brutal.
Right.
And I don't appreciate that as like a God-fearing man. That's too much. That is too much for me, man.
But I see why like someone like Andre and hell, like even a mutual friend of ours, AJ, they love specifically slow and heavy. Oh, and I see the appeal. I'm not a fan of that appeal.
Right.
I'm not a part of it.
You can knock me
down. But I see it. Like I get it. So we'll move on now to end this discussion segment before we get into our picks. There's been a big single, a big hit, as you will, and I've noticed that I've been keeping track of a bunch of singles. But then this new single by Era, "Eye of God," and friend of the podcast, Mike, who was on Mike Jugsmith, as we've dubbed him, or Mike Jugson, whatever. He kept bugging me of like, yo, you have to check it out. I'm like, yeah, I will. And when I finally, I'm like, yo, you know what? This is really fucking good compared to previous works where I think Era is a band that has gotten, personally, I know you disagree with me, Felix, has gotten better, especially with this newer singer. I miss the old stuff, but it's very cookie cutter.
It is.
Well, they started regularly incorporating lighter tones, more pitch harmonics, more melodies, especially in favor of the bassist doing the clean vocals, which I know you've not been a fan of, Felix. But this new song, "Eye of God," it starts heavy as fuck, and it goes, really goes, and to their issue of the clean vocals and the melodies, I think this is the first song I've heard in a long time by Era where the cleans and the melodies and the pitch harmonics don't boggle down the dynamic, the momentum that the song starts off with. It starts fast, it goes heavy, it goes even slow and low points, but those points never boggle down the momentum. To me, it's a cool breath of fresh air for Era, even being a fan of theirs, but I've been more on the fence of them as of late. What did you think listening to it, Felix?
Here's the thing, man. And I constantly say it because I know that, whenever I talk about Era on the podcast or on the show, it's always in a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand what they do with their melodies.
Mm-hmm.
To their point, they're doing something, at least in the fucking intro of the song and the first 50 seconds, they're doing something really cool.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's almost like a big dump of just, here's all our frustration, all of our like creativity, all of our, momentum, and just going forward, just dump it. And it works. It's all coming in sync. It's all working. And it's great.
Right.
And the best part is that it's different. It's different from all their other singles. It's different from all their other albums. And I like it. Until you hit the 51 second. And it's the same goddamn motherfucking thing as the album before and as the singles before. Yeah. Why slow it down? You were doing so well. And like you said, Kevin, it was moving so perfectly from the beginning, like the first 10 seconds of the intro. It starts off with just basic, really heavy drumming.
Right.
And, and the vocalist just kicks ass and it's amazing. And then I don't know where you stop and you do the same shit you've been doing before. Why?
So you're disagreeing with me on the point that
it continues.
I think the momentum is straight. You're disagreeing.
I think it pauses like on its 2 feet.
Okay.
But here's the thing, they do it on every song.
Right.
Don't give me a song that doesn't do that, or give me a song that does it a little less abrasively.
It's funny, you will never get that.
No,
that's only the old stuff.
And that's exactly, and that's what I've come to terms with. But if only, like, if I can just be like a chef in this type of thing and just pepper in a little bit of their old stuff, or at least like the way they would structure songs before, and because I really dig the direction that they're taking the band in, and I really enjoyed their previous album. For the most part,
Neon was great.
Neon was great, but it's the same, gripe that I have with all their other songs, that one, it makes it almost predictable. And it's unfair to say that it makes it predictable because for the most part, holistically, they're not.
Right.
Until it comes down to the melody.
Right.
And it's almost like they're contracted or obligated to do that. You know that you're not, right? Like you don't have to do that. Metalcore doesn't always have to be,
good cop, bad cop.
Exactly. No, man. Just give us good stuff. And they were on their way. When I first heard it, I was like, bro, could it be? But just in the back of my mind, I was waiting for that fucking asshole to start. And I was like,
so now I wanna get to your gripe of that with the singer, because we're on at least a somewhat uneven playing field of I'm liking it more than you. I'm liking the aggression stuff. The melodies aren't bothering me as much as you. Now, what is the difference between these melodies and the melodies as of something that we talked about, even I think it was last week, As I Lay Dying?
Okay, you want to know the difference?
Right.
There's different melodies with the bassist in As I Lay Dying. He's not always okay. So for everyone listening at home or listening along, if you go to the 1 minute mark, just to be fair, or maybe 55 second mark, what you hear is the band slowing down for this singer. And he's trying different things. He's doing that kind of like Middle Eastern type of like vibe, and it goes, it's very flowy. Mm-hmm. You don't get that with As I Lay Dying, especially with Shaped by Fire. Right. You don't. He's clean. He's singing clean. But the whole song doesn't stop to introduce a melody. Right. It just gives the melody.
Yeah, so that's the better example of the momentum is not bogged down.
Yeah, and then to make matters worse for Era, in that section of that 55-second mark, they not only do the slow melody to kind of like introduce the clean singing, they do like the arrow, the very like proggy, synthesizing type of like.
Well, they've been doing that since Neon,
or whatever, and that's fine. But every time, you don't have to do that every time,
right?
Because that slows it down. And they were on their way with this song, "Eye of God." They were on their way to creating a really heavy track that it could have the guy singing. I don't care about the clean singing or not, but when you let's make that comparison with Shaped by Fire and Eye of God, you don't see the entire band slowing down just to appease or display the capabilities of the singer. I'm not bogging the singer of Era. I'm bogging the decision for Era to do the same repetitive nonsense as before, because it's almost to the point that it's laughable of how predictable it is. Because you can see when they're gonna introduce a clean part to their song, you see them doing the same thing they did here in Eye of God. They completely stop what they're doing. It's hard. They just stop. They do some kind of like atmospheric or whatever. This guy introduces it clean, blah 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 blah, and then they go into the band re-upping again, and then the clean singer, yelling it with distortion but still clean singing.
It's funny you describe it that way, and I've heard it with this analogy, and I thought it was hilarious. Someone described it as it sounds like they're changing the channel. Like it's
like the little static TV or whatever.
No, like you're literally like you're on one thing, the heaviness.
Yeah.
And then you change the channel, and then all of a sudden it's melodies. That's to describe it, like how jarring the differences are.
And it's pretty.
I get what you.
It doesn't have to be
right,
and that's my gripe with Era since when I first. What's the album before Neon?
I don't know, but that's the first one with
the
newer singer from Texas in July.
Drift.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Drift was before Neon, and then it was Augment, and then
yeah. So Augment, I loved Augment.
I liked Augment, but I know it's a different band. I know that. But with Drift, I liked it because, and we saw them while they were promoting Drift, Kevin. We saw them live, and I enjoyed it because it was the first of this. It was the first of, hey, we're doing something different, and then
with the synthesizers, the cleans, the pitch harmonics,
and it was like, okay, not every single song is repetitive. Most are,
right?
But not every single song is. Let's move on. All right, second album, the second album with this new lineup, they had me hooked. I was ready for it. I was anticipating it. I was ready and excited. I saw that it was almost the exact same thing, to the point that not just the band was doing the same thing, but the way that they're mapping out the song structure is the same. And it turned me off.
Right.
Eye of God came out, and I see it, and it's like I got excited because
it's
none
the way
of the
songs.
none of the songs that at least that I can remember start off that good and that abrasive with Era. And I was excited because I thought, holy shit, this is really good. And then they do it again.
Right.
And it's like, you don't have to,
I see what you mean.
But I don't want to spend too much time with it.
It's
definitely
right. So we can get to our picks. So. That was just the big hit. I wanted to talk about it specifically because it hit that that threshold of like 100,000 views on YouTube and more. It surpassed that. I think the last time I checked, it was at over 117,000.
Yeah.
And like God knows how many plays on Spotify.
I like it when bands come and when we follow a band. We see it like them growing, like how we did after the Burial. Like when we see
and you see the fan base grow.
Yeah, the fan base grow. And then,
dude, the first time I saw Era was at a house party with the previous singer. And he was and they were playing in a living room.
Yeah.
To think that like that's the same band now making 100,000 views on YouTube, and then they've gotten popular enough for us to be complaining of like, oh, I wish it was back like the way they used to be.
Exactly.
And to me, that's kind of cool.
That's a compliment.
Right, it is a compliment. So whatever, let's move on to our picks. If you're new to the show, the way Felix and I go about our picks is we separate them by something heavy, something soft, and something random. So we title them respectively Chugs of Choice, Melody at the Moment, and Wild Card. As always, Felix, we start with you. Tell me, what was your chugs of choice this week?
Okay, so this week I gotta just give some insight for people. This week's been a very slow week for me. You know, I didn't feel like summoning demons in my house. I just wanted to kind of relax, and then if I have some chugs, I have some chugs. If not, it's totally fine. My chug of choice, and I'm gonna get a lot of weird looks for this, because this is not a band that you would think would be a chug of choice type of band, is Starset. They have a single that came out called Manifest. I don't know, and before I heard the song, I didn't know too much about Starset.
Yeah, me neither.
Until I, YouTube the music video, just because I like to do that. I was surprised of the amount of people that like this band. They have a huge following.
Really? I
Yes.
actually didn't check that.
They have a huge following, and they've been around since 2014.
That's funny.
And I wouldn't have thought, and of course it's mostly with like the female demographic, which is great. But I had no idea that they were so like popular, and the singer has a stage presence that's pretty commanding, and they're big, almost an arena type of band, almost. But the reason why I picked this song as my chug of choice is because it has a couple. To me personally, it has a couple of nitpicks that I would love to make a song out of, if that makes sense. Because just like I picked some songs from my melody at the moment. Just because they have like little melodic parts. This song, Manifest, has a breakdown between choruses that's really intriguing to me. Only because of the placement within the song. Yeah. The song in and of itself is a roller coaster. Because when you start the song, you feel it that it's going to be kind of like a very, like almost like a ballad, slow, probably catchy. You don't want to be too presumptuous.
And I start predicting, I'm like, okay, it might like crescendo into something heavy.
Exactly.
And even the typical post-hardcore thing.
Exactly. But when it crescendoed into a breakdown that was gent, and it was almost like volumes, like I was like, what?
And then it comes back to this almost like, I want to compare it to like almost an R&B vibe. But like alternative pop,
very new Amorosa, Amorosa type of vibe,
right? But then there's still chugginess in the background.
Exactly. Weird. So that's why I was like, within the first 41 seconds, you get a really nice atmospheric and melodic intro, a nasty break. That's the thing. It's almost hard to say that a song gives you a nasty breakdown when you hear the clean vocals. They're very poppy. Yeah. So you wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Throughout. It's very he actually doesn't even scream except for like words or phrases. Yeah. And even then, like, I feel like the volume is like boggled down when he screams.
Exactly. So you don't expect that. You don't expect a breakdown of that caliber. Yeah. In that. And I like how they show you in the beginning. Like, if you're on this board, if you're on the ship, get the fuck on. If not, leave. And
I was on to get to my thoughts on it, Felix. This is what Manifest by Starset. Yeah. I dug it too. Almost immediately, I was like, "What is this? This cool blending of like subjugated, gentiness." But like super minor, and then this like sweeping melody with like alternative rock, like a ballad of like post-hardcore, and then it's this like cool bounciness during the verses. Yeah, and then the choruses and the bridge is this like I said earlier, this like R&B vibe, but with like alternative pop, and I want to speak for everyone on the podcast and listening to the podcast. I completely disagree with Felix of naming this as like a chug of choice, but I'm 100% with them of this is a pick. Yeah, this is a great fucking song that blew me the fuck away. And Felix, you have to say the funny story that happened when with this song that happened between you and I.
What, the text messages? Yeah. So here we go. So I sent Kevin a message. I was like, hey, I'm gonna use this as my chug of choice.
No. Before that, you just sent it to me with no context.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm talking shit. So I just sent it to you because I found it, and I'm like, first of all, I wasn't anticipating to click on it, but I was just curious, And I sent that over to you, and all I get from you is OMFG. Oh, my fucking God. I was like, what? Do you not like my pick or whatever? And it's in all caps. I was just about to put this on the Google Docs. Yeah. Bro.
It was beyond freaky.
That was mind-boggling, bro.
Dude, like, and it's one of those. I think it's one of those that came on the Dreambound YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But it's one of those that, like, I kept it in the background. I continued working, and as I did that meerkat thing, I kind of like stood up straight in my seat. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
What is this?
And like shuffled through my tabs and windows, and I'm like, what the fuck is playing? And I just stayed in my seat, just staring at it. I'm like, dude, what?
They're good, bro.
And I listened to the entire thing before I decided, okay, this is going on our shared doc to talk about the show. And just as I typed it, or I think just as I finished typing it, I see it on my Apple Watch, like you text me, and I see it, and I see the link, and I see Starset, and I was like, no fucking way. And my mind immediately, I was like, Felix just saw me type this.
Nah.
And when I text you, I'm like, dude, I just finished typing. And you're like, dude, no way. I didn't know. I freaked out, man. I was like, bro, what a weird fucking, like
dynamic, bro.
Yeah, it was so weird.
It's with a gruesome twosome, baby.
Yeah.
Gruesome twosome. But
it was like a glitch in the fucking Matrix.
Oh, yeah, bro.
But yeah, we dug it. I disagree with you of being a Chuck Joy because this is super melodic. The melodies are sweeping as hell because it's throughout the fucking song. And to the point that, like, in the background, besides the chugginess, there's also, like, you can tell, like, some kind of, like, classical instrumental vibes.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, it's, like, more synth.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. I still dug the hell out of the song. Enough that I would have chosen it as a pick as well.
Yeah.
So, that was Starset, the song Manifest. That was your chug of choice.
Yep.
So my chug of choice actually is Chuggy. I don't know if you got around to hear it. I know you're hearing it now.
Yeah, I'm hearing it now.
It's the Oklahoma Kid. Their single "Feed Me Fear." Now, really, really funny context to this. The Oklahoma Kid was a stupid, awesome hardcore band that I was really into. That only had like an album and I think like a single or an EP afterwards, and then they disappeared. I think they're from Russia. If I remember correctly, they're a Russian hardcore band. I got into this really strange niche vibe or trail where I was listening to a fuck ton of Russian hardcore bands that would only do like an album or only one song, and then they would just fall off. And it would really piss me off because they were fucking awesome. I don't want to get into the other ones because hopefully I'm not jinxing and they come out with other songs. But this single, Feed Me Fear by the Oklahoma Kid, is like their second or third single for a new album coming out. Oh, and I'm like, oh, fuck yes. I'm so about this shit. So now, the Oklahoma Kid, I give you this context of Russian hardcore genty. Dude, this song, Feed Me Fear, immediately sounds like a genty Straight from the Path.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like nu metal because it's got like that almost rappy vibe and really bouncy chorus. But man, it's abrasive. It kicks you in the fucking nuts. And then it does the other nu metal thing of a clean, not clean, more melodic, but I don't want to, take away from that. It's a more, how would you call it?
It's hard. It's hard because I'm listening to it right now.
Right.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's harmonic. It's a perfect blend.
It's a harmonic
It's not melodic because it's not fucking melodic.
Right, because the singer, he sings in that style that I love. That throaty,
it's so good.
That throaty hardcore vibe, that throaty hardcore vocals I fucking love. Especially like harkening back to Straight from the Path. But less nasally because that singing from Straight to the Path is really nasally. In the chorus of this, it's funny how it's like, it does that cool wankery on the guitar. I don't know what that is. Maybe you could give me some insight to that, Felix, of like, it's like a whammy pedal, bro. Maybe. I don't know what that is. But it's, again, harkening back to Straight from the Path, but it's that cool Russian vibe where it's like, dude, it's just chuggy throughout the entire song. It does not stop. It's relentless. It's relentlessly bouncy, even during that more harmonic chorus.
Yep.
And then when it gets to that fucking breakdown at the end where it slows down. But I don't know what it is that where it slows down, but the music still feels like it's going fast. I don't know how the fuck.
Maybe Eric should take some fucking notes.
For real.
Yeah.
Hey, but Russia, man. Russia is fucking.
No, actually German.
They're
German based, yeah, man.
German, okay.
Which is still weird that they would go with the Oklahoma Kid
Right.
Probably never been to Oklahoma. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. And of all states, Oklahoma's got a rock too, man.
Oh, look, and I just remembered it does before their bridge does like what Era did in I Have God, where it's the
Yeah.
pause, melody, and then it seeps into the almost harmonized parts.
Right.
But it did it stretched out, and it cuts you right back to that gut punch of a chorus.
And I want to know one thing now that you're talking about
They only
that.
did it once.
They only did it once,
Right.
and they did it towards the end of the fucking song.
Right.
Take
After
some
2 minutes.
goddamn notes. Take some goddamn. That's how you fucking do it.
It's funny, I'm realizing it now. The song is 4 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a fan of hardcore when it goes over 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes. When it gets to that territory, I'm like, oh, okay, you're just repetitive. That bridge is after that mark.
Yep.
And elongates the song. And it makes it more than what it is. It makes
Absolutely.
them like they're doing more than just hardcore.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, whatever you're doing, keep that shit up, bro.
Absolutely.
And look, right now you're listening to them on Spotify. That's their old stuff, where it's just gut wrenching, fucking gut punching hardcore, and it's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, no, I dig it, man.
So again, that was my chug of choice. Feed Me Fear, the single "Feed Me Fear" by the Oklahoma kid, like Felix just confirmed, from Germany. Awesome. I don't know. Let me double check really quickly. When is that album coming out? I don't know. But I cannot fucking wait, man.
Yep. That's going to be awesome.
And you're liking it. You heard it.
Am I liking it? I fucking love it. But here's the thing. What I liked about it the most isn't that, okay, cool, it's hardcore, chuggy. Sure, that's fine. But there are a lot of elements to this song that are just completely done right. First of all, I just want to say Oklahoma's got a rock too. Because we had an episode on the show said Utah's got a rock too. So goddamn it, Oklahoma's got a rock too. First of all, but second of all, not to take up too much time, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, not all songs that are hardcore are usually great at 4 minutes long. But the song, not once did I ever feel the need to look at the time. That's how good like the whole overall holistic song was. At least to me, everything about it was great. I fucking love the vocals.
Yeah.
I would go back just for the vocals. But what's amazing is that the band is really good too.
Yeah.
So it's everything bundled up in a nice, neat bow, ready for you to jam out to.
Awesome. And I finally got that info here. So their new album, Solar Ray, this is the single "Feed Me Fear" is off their upcoming album, Solar Ray, comes out September 13th. You already know we're fucking reviewing
Fuck
that.
yeah.
Because the other singles sound just like this.
Yep.
So you have to check out the other singles because I know you're going to dig them.
Absolutely.
So again, that was my chug of choice. So we're going to move on to the next segment, Melody at the Moment. Felix, what was your melody at the moment this week?
Well, here's the thing. This band comes from England. I've enjoyed this band for a while. Their band is Enter Shikari. Kevin and I have been, listening to them for years. Right from Take to the Skies to, even before that. So I've really dug the song.
Sorry You're Not a Winner.
Yes,
from before Take to the Skies.
So, I've been a big fan of Enter Shikari for years and years and years. And we've seen them live multiple times, never lets us down. But I picked their new hit, new single, Stop the Clocks. In spite of my melody at the moment, I didn't want to do the thing is I wanted to talk about them, but I really wasn't.
Well, there's nothing chuggy about this one.
Oh no, absolutely! If I would have put this as my chug of choice, I think we would have
fought on air.
Oh, absolutely! Like, God damn it, Felix. But here's the thing, man, and Kevin, I really want to hear your input on this because we've been fans for such a long time. The band is clearly taking a path.
Since that last album.
Since the last album, Since the Spark, they have really said, this is where we're going. We hope that you can go with us. And that's it. For the most part, the Mind Sweep, I think, is where it kicked off. My personal opinion.
I think that's their best fucking album.
It is.
Like back to back of a flash flood of color and Minesweep are fucking incredible.
They're fantastic. But in my opinion, I love a flash full of color. But the Minesweep is when you start seeing where they got the spark to be the band they are right now. Because the
Nice
Minesweep
pun.
was
I
the
got
one.
that.
Yeah, you got that. The Minesweep was the one that started introducing, and I hate to say this, but clean vocals. Even though Enter Shikari always had clean vocals. Don't get me wrong. Rue Reynolds
No,
has
but
always had clean vocals.
I'd almost categorize it as like poppier vocals.
Yeah, more synth.
Right.
And which is weird for me to say more synth, but fucking more synth. And it's more synth plus more poppy plus more, and they've always been political, but even more political on the spectrum. And the Minesweep was the one that I was like, you know what? There's songs in here that I'll fucking take to the grave. I love it. I stand by every single song of this goddamn album. I really will. But then the spark came, 2 years after, 2017. In my opinion,
and that's when we saw them.
That's when we saw them. They were promoting that album. If you ask me my wholehearted opinion, I would say it's definitely the least of my, likable albums. It's extremely poppy, extremely radio, but every band is allowed one. I get it. I'm not a monster. And for the most part, every one of the band, the bassist and even the drummer, they're all, entertainers. They all do their own thing, the DJs and stuff like that. So I get it. You want to do all that? Fine. But the spark is where we saw the lead singer, Rue Reynolds, with his little toy that apparently he can't go without anywhere, which is the fucking futuristic little keyboard that
he like made or some shit.
Yeah, cool, whatever. Now we get...
And the hairstyle.
Oh, so let's talk about the hairstyle for a second. If you don't know Rue Reynolds, I would encourage you to take 1 second, maybe even pause the podcast to listen to check out this guy on Google. Google Rue Reynolds and then come right back. But for those who know Rue Reynolds, that hairstyle has just gone worse.
Yeah.
That hairstyle went from like, oh, he's just some punk from Britain, no problem, whatever. That's kind of sounding Jamaican. But no problem, whatever. And then it's just like, all right, cool. He's starting to get a little bit more like, let go. Well, that's fine. He's just putting on a blazer. So you put on a blazer and you have a shitty haircut. The Weeknd made it successful, and look at that fucking haircut.
For real.
So, you can't dog Rue Reynolds for trying it. But now I saw the music video for this, and it's like, dude, cut your fucking hair, man. Yeah. Get a job and cut your hair.
We were describing how Pharaoh's like, it looks like Take Me to Your Manager, but like futuristic. So it's like futuristic Take Me to Your Manager hairstyle.
Dude, that's the best way to put it. Because Take Me to the Manager is a very specific haircut.
Yeah.
All you do with this is just add like future little laser beams to it. And like future laser, laser beams or whatever, and like some cool like Matrix style glasses. It's so weird. But anyway, besides the point, getting back to the song that they have is called "Stop the Clocks." It was just a big sigh for me of disappointment because this just puts a nail in the coffin of a band that I used to love.
Right.
First of all, this band. When Kevin and I saw them, this band doesn't do very well in South Florida. They sell out arenas in London. They sell out arenas in the UK, all across the Eastern Europe, and they really do. They're a huge arena stadium band. In South Florida, I want to say, Kevin, and we went to Culture Room, a popular venue here in South Florida. There were not more than 50 people in the audience. More than that. Well, for them... Maybe. It was so sad to see.
Yeah. And it was already it's a small venue.
It's a small venue.
Barely fits 300.
I was already like just prepared to be asphyxiated, tightened, and just like completely uncomfortable for the whole time. And I was able to completely stretch both my arms out in every direction. And
we could have done jumping jacks.
We really could have. We could have done anything we want. But it was weird. The song "Stop the Clocks," it's the same thing as the Spark.
Yeah.
And if not,
it feels like a B-side that was never released.
Exactly. And there's no need for it because the Spark was 2 years ago. So "Live Outside" was the hit single from it. And,
and this sounds like that.
It sounds just like it.
It's almost like the same melody.
Yeah. It's almost like, we have to just push something out. "Live Outside" is kind of catchy and poppy. I'm sure we can have something, "Stop the Clocks" or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can see the synth. It's almost like they're not even a band anymore. That's the way I see it because with the Spark, I was struggling to hear a lot of them, like parts of the band, but they would still show them or at least you would still be able to hear them in just in total maybe like a minute out of a 3-minute song, because they would come up on the choruses, pre-choruses, maybe at the end.
Right.
Now I can already envision, like, the band came out in Stop the Clocks for like 10, 20 seconds in the
Yeah, because you're speaking of the instrumentation. Because
all the instrumentation.
It is just
it's
heavy
just
synth, keyboard, and just Rue Reynolds singing.
Yeah, and so this isn't Enter Shikari for me.
Yeah, it's not
Enter
a band.
Shikari's always been a very heavy, distorted band with, you know, Rue Reynolds, because the dude, say what you want about his fucking haircut. The dude is talented.
Right.
You know, he has a really good way to, like, project his voice. This doesn't suit him well, because you can even tell in his voice, it's so bland that it makes it boring to hear.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, even listening to it like as we are now, it's just under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If
it feels like forever.
Right. Something this poppy should not exceed 2.5 minutes.
Not at all. It should be quick.
3 minutes if there's like something special about it.
But it's super repetitive.
Right.
Maybe 4 minutes if it takes a turn, or if it takes a couple of dips and then right
even
back.
Now, let's say I pause it. I could tell you how the intro goes and the chorus. I can't tell you anything between or after that.
Which is a good sign of a shitty song.
Yeah.
So Kevin, any words?
No, that's it. Because the worst part is like I'm 100% on your camp. I'm on the edge of like I still liked it. I still went out of my way to go listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I still put it on maybe throughout my day, but just like it's like once to hear something poppy in the background. But the worst part is like, dude, I used to never listen to Enter Shikari that way.
No,
I used to never put them on as background music.
Repeat. I would listen to them on full headphones and probably reading the lyrics, because they were gonna have some kind of, like,
I know that's your habit of when you like a band, you do that,
and nothing.
Yeah, this doesn't spark any inspiration.
It just all my clocks kept going after I heard the song.
Jesus, oh my god! All right,
that's the way I see it.
Before this fucking punny train goes off the rails.
Yeah, man.
So my melody at the moment, I didn't even want to add to that anymore. So my melody at the moment is just like yours, completely out of fucking left field.
Nice.
Not something that belongs on this fucking show. And it's this band called The Standby. Now, so the song is called Drawing Out the Hurt. The fucking title sounds emo as fuck. But the song itself sounds like almost like throwback to like 90s post-grunge. But now hear me out. 90s post-grunge mixed with like an almost more accessible sounding shoegaze rock. I don't know what it is about this fucking song. Well, actually, no, I do know, and I'm about to fucking tell you. This song, I can't get out of my fucking head. The melody, the chorus, the lyrics. It's this cool surfer vibe mixed with this shoegaze, which is this cool just 3 to 4 strings guitar strum. And that this singer's voice, bro, it comes in like a sunset on the beach, but then somehow juxtaposed to when where he just like he uses his breath a little bit more. It almost comes off like the best way to describe it's like dark chocolate. It's this like dark chocolate soothing a voice on really more accessible shoegaze. I don't know. I don't know this like cool amalgamation of like harkening back to 90s alternative rock.
I know, not to cut you off, Kevin.
Go ahead.
I know why you like them. They're a flip side to the same coin to Balance and Composure. Yeah. They're
especially mid like before Balance and Composure ended.
Yeah.
They harken back to I think it was the album before. Damn, you had it pop up there. I'm awful with album titles. I'm awful. But yeah, yes, like 100% because it's harkening back to like again 90s post, which one not Light We Made.
That's all they're up.
Nah, it reminds me of the Slow Heart, because Slow Heart had other songs on it. Yeah. Okay, so that was the last thing they did. So it harkens back to that. So it's like heavier shoegaze, more accessible because it's not like all distortion.
Right.
So it's like it's as if shoegaze grew up in the 90s. Well, fucking did.
During their
fine. If shoegaze grew up listening to grunge.
If shoegaze grew up in Seattle.
Fuck. Some of it. Okay, I get what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I dug it
I dig it. I dig
immediately.
that ocean vibe of
Yeah.
like when that solo kicks in,
Yeah.
and you're like, ooh, this is a cool solo, and it continues, and the music continues instead of changing.
Yeah.
You get me? Because a lot of solos, the band changes its progression or its time signature for the solo,
Yeah.
but the solo plays through the song like it feels and it plays like a literal wave crashing on the song, and it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
And then when that singer kicks back in, where the best way I could compare them, and it's a horrible comparison, it's like almost like Balance of Composure mixed with like Smile Empty Soul,
Yeah.
where it's like it's Balance of Composure, but more abrasive, like it's not abrasive.
It's not abrasive. It's just more on the a little bit more assertive. Just
more
like
emotion.
More, yeah, a little bit more. Like more of something to lose. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like more important or whatever.
Yeah, so
I love it.
I know it's not something that belongs in this podcast, but I don't give a fuck. It's our show.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you love it because I was really worried. I was like, I'm gonna have to overly explain this for you to kind of understand why I like it. But I'm glad you did fix. But it shows that you're fucking my best man anyway.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. But here's something that might throw everyone off. Since you said, hell yeah, I'm glad that I liked it. I was saving this for my wild card. If you're ready for the wild card.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. So that was my latest moment. That's again the band was Standby. The song, "Drawing Out the Hurt," the single. Not sure if it's promoting
an EP.
Yeah, it's not promoting anything. It's just a drawing out the hurt single.
I liked it.
But I liked it. I really dug it.
Very bass heavy, which is probably why I like it.
Yes, and what I like most is like the momentum keeps going, and then like I said, that solo kicks in. It just feels like a wave crashing on the music, and I think it's fucking cool, man.
I think Era should probably really listen to this podcast and see how to probably do it because this is the second band.
I'll let Mike know because maybe he's got a direct line to Era.
Oh, hopefully, man. Hopefully, he can send a little back signal. It's like a bass clef note and a regular treble note. Just like, hey, bassist, why don't you check out Metal to the Core podcast? See how it's done.
So now you have to fucking ruin this fucking shit for me, Felix. What? Tell me. I already know, but tell me.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the video?
No.
Can you please watch the video while I explain this?
Oh, fine.
All right. So here's the thing. We're now in the wild card section of the show. And as you know, wildcard is really, just completely whatever we want. This is my one moment to really show everyone what I'm all about. And this week, I decided to show people, everyone listening, and Kevin for the very first time what I'm all about. Kind of what I'm all about. I don't know if this makes me a juggalo or not. So here's the thing. This is a two-piece band. It's called Twisted, right? And the way it's first of all, they're very famous. Not to us, or at least not to me. Probably more likely not to Kevin. But they're spelled TWIZTID, and the song is called Magic Spells. But spells is spelled with a SPELLZ.
Yeah, just to let you know that they're hip.
Yeah, just to let you know that, hey, this is some like felon music really quick. So just pay attention. Get your Fago ready. So right now, Kevin's watching it. I asked him to please not watch this before the podcast, just so I can get his initial reaction. And his face is Italian mode on, priceless. It's just priceless. Because if you the song, as I mentioned, Magic Spells, it gives you a little overview of what the Juggalo community is all about, which is weird. And never in my life would I would have said, hey, I kind of like some of this music. I don't hate it. And I've always seen like, the ICP and all these other people that as like a joke, as a joke to the music industry or whatever. There's some parts to this song in particular that aren't bad, bro. They're not amazing, but for what it's worth, to me at least, it was catchy. It was, it did have a rock element, which threw me off because I thought ICP was all about like hip hop and, it was just more hip hop, more rap type thing. But to me, it gave me a very big reminder of where the rock I used to like when I was a kid kind of came from. And it showed me that rock is still alive and well. A lot of people like, I guess the diet nu metal is the best way to put it. Not so much nu metal, but just distorted enough for
I like
you
that
to know
diet
it's
nu metal.
rebel. Yeah, diet nu metal. Distorted enough for you to, like it and show it around to people, but with enough catchy melodies and little sections that make it just a regular rock song or whatever. But I dug it. Again, it's from Twisted, Magic Spells. If you watch the music video, which I fucking encourage you to watch, please let me know your thoughts. For what ICP is worth, because even though they're, these people are Twisted, they're not exactly a part of the Insane Clown Posse. I'm not sure how that pyramid works, how that organizational structure is captured. But I think there might be like a posse of the clowns. I'm not sure. But Kevin, I want to know your thoughts. You're watching the music video right now, and your face says a lot. It started off with more emotions, but I think you're coming around to it. I might be wrong. What are your thoughts?
I wish I could like send everyone listening the
link.
No, like a meme, like a visual meme, and it's just like the meme of damn, I can't remember the name of it, but it's that lady calling the cops.
Oh, the white lady, the white fat lady calling the cops.
Yeah, with all the shades.
Yes.
I was like, I wish I could send everyone that, and I was just like, someone get help. Call the government, because what Felix just put me through is cruel and unusual punishment.
There's no need for someone to do that.
I think I hate you a little bit more for this. Something is definitely wrong with
I
you.
think so too, man. I think so too.
So hearing it, I see why.
Yeah.
I see why. I can't even say you. I see why one would be okay. Let me take off the rest.
Yeah. Don't listen. See, here, that's a mistake I made. I let it run, and then I heard other Twisted songs, and I regretted my decision instantly.
So
I try not to do that.
I can leave it going on in the background, fucking on my phone.
Yeah.
The song reminds me of like that era in like I say post 2004, 2005, so like 2004 to like 2007 of like post nu metal alternative rock.
Yes.
So I'm thinking like fucking like Saliva, Drowning Pool after they lost the first singer.
Yeah. Cold, remember that song?
Adema when they lost the first singer.
Yep.
So it's just like really cringeworthy hooks that repeat for way too fucking long. Rap styles that are just completely uncalled for.
They just kind of like go like they don't even match the song. It's just bloop.
Right. So like how you had a problem with era of the screaming would stop and then clean singing.
Yeah.
This is just like random rock, not that much, and then stop rap, and then stop rock, and then like this like gang vocal chorus.
Yes.
But that's still like so cringy.
It is really cringy.
And the worst part, like you go see this. This is not say 2005 or 2009.
No,
this is 2019. This was 2 or 3 months ago. So I hate you more for making me go this back. and I really feel like that meme of like calling the cops on you because this was cruel and unusual punishment. And I hate you for it.
I know, but fuck, it's catchy to me.
No,
I don't know why. I saw it. And I'm like, let me give it a chance because
you know what this would be on?
Everywhere.
This would be on the fucking video game Need for Speed.
Oh yeah,
and not even like one Absolutely. Of the not even one of the songs that's like on the track. Like this is like Menu, like what's on the menu.
That is the biggest insult you can give to anyone making music. You're not even like You're not even on the main lap. No. You're in the main menu where people just skip it. And you know what's worse? I totally see it. I totally see like the little hook, you bring me up or whatever, and then you just press enter, just escape it, and you just start the fucking game.
Or to go even further back, like this is like a song that we playing when you're creating your custom character for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yes, that's perfect. That's fucking spot on. If you're creating a character for Tony Hawk what was Tony Hawk Pro Skater or whatever, 2, 3 or whatever, this is a spot on song, which is weird because Tony Hawk, the last one was 5 and that was like 2014.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that I know that. And it's crazy that this song sounds like it belongs there. And if not, even the first one.
Yeah, even earlier.
Even earlier. But I'm glad that you checked it out, Kevin. I recommend it for people just if you want to see what the Juggalos are all about. I don't know, man.
I recommend it.
like it.
I recommend it too for American soldiers to play this in in Middle Eastern terrorist prison cells, because you will get the truth out of them. We would have found Bin Laden years
ago
earlier
if Twisted would have just made more songs. It's all Twisted's fault.
Fucking Christ! I think now you are a juggalo or whatever the fuck they are.
So does this make me a juggalo? I asked my fiance the same question yesterday.
You gotta dress like one now on your wedding day.
I think I have to. I don't know.
White paint.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are. If anyone knows the rules, I would be more than happy to take them in. But I'm pretty sure the rule is if you listen to 20 minutes or more of juggalo music, you have to have the face paint. And I think if you listen to like 3 or 4 songs, out of nowhere, your pants just get baggier and
oh my God.
You start drinking Faygo and your hair gets green. I don't know the rules. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but that was just from Workaholics. I don't know. Kevin, what's your wild card?
All right, so my wild card after that Cruel and Unusual Punishment is something fucking dope and that all hardcore kids would dig. And it's a new song called Morning from Stasis. Stasis is another hardcore band that I've been not following, but every single they've come out, I'm like, yo, this is fucking awesome. And I love how the majority of all the YouTube comments of all their videos, everyone's always saying the same thing. And I 100% agree with it, but I have no problem with it. Everyone compares them to Counterparts. And it's just like, you know what? Counterparts really carved out a specific corner in this like niche of hardcore where it's this melodic hardcore that's still abrasive, but the harmonized melodies are still playing throughout the heaviness of the song, and it's it goes as soon as it starts, it fucking goes, man. And I love it, man. I cannot stress enough how much I love these kind of vocals, this hardcore, throaty hardcore vocals, and it gets abrasive in the bridge, it gets abrasive during the chorus, and it's fucking awesome. I love that momentum of just jumpiness, and then when it does it kind of stops and you hear that the China chime, and it's just this cool fucking breakdown that it makes you want to hardcore dance. It makes you want to 2-step. And mind you, I'm not a fan of that, dude. You and we're 29 fucking years old.
I know.
We are not for fucking throwing those windmill kicks and shit like that.
And look, I got one left in me. That's the way I see it. I got one good one left in me before I give it up, and I'm saving that shit for a good one.
I should have used it at the Pure Noise tour, but I was there with Val, and
it's in the reserves, man. Listen, it's in the reserves. When you let it out, when you go full force, I'll be there.
So I love this fucking song. My one gripe, and it's that thing that you and I have been complaining about, bro, is the talkiness section in songs. I don't fucking get it. What I will give them props for is it's not like the music stops and then there's this talky section, or it's a random melody and it's this talky section. It's the melody complements the talky section, and then I like how the snare drum is doing a drum roll.
Yes.
So you can tell that it's going somewhere. It's like, hey, it's a talky section, but the song's not ending. We're getting to the redoing the bridge again and the fucking kick-ass chorus, and then the song is done.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I got it. It's so cool. And oh man, that breakdown at the end, man. That breakdown at the end is like the cherry on top. The song is barely It's barely 3 minutes.
And it goes through so many
perfect,
ups
bro.
and downs, yeah.
This song is fucking perfect length. I love where it goes. Man, I can't stress enough. If you are a fan of Counterparts, you even like Stick to Your Guns, which is still in that vein of melodic hardcore. But specifically, that niche that Counterparts has carved out into the genre of this specific melodic hardcore that's still abrasive, but still has really harmonized sections. Stasis, man. Stasis is kicking ass. I love this Morning single. It's called Morning in the sense of like morning.
Like a Death of the Family.
Definitely fine, like Morning. And it's only labeled as just single, so I don't know if it's promoting an album. I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
But man, it's fucking awesome. So quickly tell me, what do you think, Felix?
Well, it's no Twisted.
Get the fuck out of here. You give me torture and I give you this gift.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man. No, this was really fun to listen to. Everything about it. But one thing that stuck out to me, and I'm surprised you didn't mention it, or maybe you didn't emphasize it on it enough, is the overall I don't want to say melody,
The harmony.
but just the overall harmony and the way they do it. The way they do it is key here because anyone can create that harmony. And I guess that the topic of the day is Era. Era really wants to create that harmony, but I guess they might be like confused on how to do it. I don't see any confusion. In fact, I see confidence in the way that the Stasis does it because they do it so well. And not only, I think my favorite part was probably the snare drum roll.
Yeah,
I think that overall, but there's many more other parts of this song that I really enjoyed. I definitely hope they come out with an EP because I would love to review them. But overall, I think this was a great single. I think this was great.
I'm glad. I knew you would dig it.
Yep.
So that was our picks, and now we're going to finally move on to album review. And it sucked because there was a lot of shit, but a lot of shit we didn't give a fuck about. So I want to give some prefix before we get to album review of Unprocessed Artificial Void. We know bands like Bound in Fear came out with a new album, and that's not something I could try and convince Felix to. I dug the Bound in Fear album. I cannot for life of me remember the name. But we also know, of course, Killswitch Engage came out with Atonement. I heard it. I know you did not dig it. I did not fucking dig it at all either. And it's funny how they even knew it wasn't that going to be that great. They splashed a single featuring Howard Jones. That's funny. And it's not good. That's the worst part.
Well, the heroin. Well, you thought I forgot? No, I didn't forget that. You broke my heart, Howard. You broke my goddamn heart.
And then for all you deathcore guys, I haven't forgotten about you, but I know a notable release was Melancholy by Shadow of Intent, them boys. Again, another one that there's no way I could convince this big lug next to me, Felix, to review that. That is way too unnecessarily heavy, blackened, technical deathcore. I love what they did with it. But even for me, I'm like, it's just too long, man. You know what it is for a 10-track deathcore album to be an hour long? Even I would take it off after a couple songs. There are some dope shit with like some instrumentals, some cool things here and there, but I just couldn't deal with it. So those are the notable releases that we just did not get to or want to get to, or Felix and I just could not agree upon. So now something we did agree upon was this Gents band, Unprocessed, their new release, Artificial Void. Felix, give me your first general thoughts, and then we'll move on to specifics.
Okay. I don't want to get too into specifics with my initial reaction, but let me just say this. For a long time, Periphery was my go-to. Excuse me, not Periphery. I'm sorry. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Tesseract, yeah. Thanks. Tesseract was my go-to for a very long time, and I mean like years. When I wanted something that was very prog, but done in a genty, not so genty way. I know it's really hard to follow, but they were my go-to. Like there's no one else was doing it like them.
Yeah,
no one else was doing it.
There's a lot close. Now, but there are clones.
Yeah, now
there are clones of it.
Exactly. So before it was like this is my thing, and where I want like fast tempo yet slow harmonies and an atmospheric background with a very almost angelic voice.
Mm-hmm.
You only go to Tesseract for that. You only go for it. And I'm so glad to see this band just Unprocessed. First of all, this is not the first time we talk about them on the show.
Right. Yeah. We talked about some previous singles.
Exactly. And every single we've talked about, it's been either one of our picks, and they've been great.
Yeah.
So my first just overall impression is almost like a tear of joy that it's not just going to be Tesseract. Because there's so many genres out there that there's only one band that does it right, and no one can ever follow the path. And it sucks because what happens to that genre, it dies there. If no one is going to follow, or no one's going to even compete, then all you have is just one band to idolize, and that's it. Imagine if no one ever, if no one ever tried to top Pantera, if no one ever tried to top Black Sabbath, what do you get?
Right.
You don't get that competition that makes you better. So
which is better for us anyways.
Exactly.
As
it's better for the fans. My initial reaction is almost like a sigh of relief because, in my personal opinion, this is gonna only pave the way and show bands that this avenue is not only acceptable to do, but it should influence them to take this more, because there is a lack of originality with this. Like you said, there's a lot of bands that do this, but there's a lot of bands that do this repetitively, and you can tell it's inauthentic. I do not get that feeling at all from Unprocessed. This came from the heart. That it reminds me of Tesseract in some way, shape, or form. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing, because they're doing it in their own way. And that's what I really appreciated.
Cool. So that's
my hot take.
Your first thoughts of
my initial.
So to give context of exactly what you said, of that before you go to was Tesseract. So then what? So then you're saying now Unprocessed almost replaces Tesseract in that sense?
Okay, so I got to watch my words very carefully.
Yeah.
No, because Tesseract is still, even with their last album, Sonder, it doesn't remind me of Unprocessed. Now that I'm looking at, like, hearing both and both, it doesn't remind me of Unprocessed, because Unprocessed is doing a very similar way, but a similar type of sound, but with their own, like, with their own direction, almost to say.
Mm-hmm.
The vocals is very similar. The bass and the tempos are very similar, but the way that they break down songs aren't, because Tesseract likes to build, and then platform
and space out.
Yeah, very spaced out.
You can tell that Tesseract is a band that it requires a patient listener.
Exactly. You can't just give that to someone and say, almost like Tool. The only difference, and I might get death threats for this, the only difference is that with Tool, the average listener already knows what to expect.
Right.
So they'll just say, leave it alone. No one knows, an average listener doesn't know Tesseract. So when you give them that, it almost needs a more, like you said, a more proficient and a more educated listener to know what to expect.
Right. To just have the right ear for it.
Exactly.
And then Unprocessed follows that same trend.
It does.
So then now my general thoughts on Unprocessed as the band itself, since their previous album, Covenant, and all those singles leading up to, because those singles felt like 2 years of singles. Covenant felt like it took forever. And it's funny because I'm checking out, Covenant was last year, which cannot be right. I don't understand how that's possible. Maybe it was early in the year. It has to be. But because to me, those singles felt forever. To me, Covenant was the perfect bridge, the perfect band for when you wanted something between Tesseract and Periphery.
Yes.
And it was perfect. There was nothing else like that. So in this already oversaturated corner of gent, and then all these bands, these pillars sticking out of Meshuggah, Tesseract, Periphery, and then the deathcore side of it, of like Veil of Maya, After the Burial, all these crazy amounts of gent bands coming up, volumes and this and that. It was really difficult for other ones to let's say, build their own pillar. Mm. A lot would follow the leader as they will. So a lot sounded like Tesseract or Periphery or Veil of Maya or Volumes or any such other ones like After the Burial and whatnot. So Unprocessed felt like literally like they built their own bridge between the pillars that were Tesseract and Periphery.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So then I got to listen to Covenant a lot when it came out, because again, it felt like forever those singles were at that time, and I was really digging it. I was really liking it. I had like very minor gripes with it. Maybe certain decisions made with the vocals and whatnot. So then once Covenant came out, I listened to it a lot, and I really dug it. I enjoy it for what it is. Now these singles start coming out for Artificial Void, and I loved it. Fear, Prototype. What was the other one? Well, I know Fear we talked about. Abandon we talked about. Yeah. Abandon's fucking awesome. I think Abandon's still my favorite. Where what bothered me in Covenant was I'm like, okay, cool, you're the bridge between these two bands. What more can you do? Because now you just sound like a combination of two bands. Mm-hmm. What else? Yep. So with these singles, I was just kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing. It just felt like, okay, you're a bridge. You're trying to stick out from that bridge, but what else? So I feel now, listening to the whole album, those singles were very specific of like, here's our proggy one. Here's our melodic one. Here's a hard one, which was a prototype.
Right.
Here's a hard one. It's still proggy, but here's a harder one. Or heavier one. My bad. So then it's like, man, it doesn't really give me. I'm like, what is the rest of what's the album? So I was really eager. Well, once we got to Artificial Void, and I'm glad we made time for it this week because this is like a now 2-3 week old album.
Yep.
Artificial Void finally makes him stick out from that bridge. But I don't like the way they did it.
Okay.
So I'm happy. I'm happy with the album. I'm happy with the overall sound. I'm happy with, okay, they're sticking out. They're not just a bridge
They're
band.
definitely, yeah, exactly.
They're sticking out. Now we'll get into specifics, but let me start with the specifics. So certain songs, Ruin sticks out. I really, really dug it. I think, man, I can't remember if it's Another Sky or no. The Movements, they're echoes.
Okay.
Songs like that one and Ruins. The vocal performance is great. I have to give them that. It's the clean singing of like Tesseract, but some screams and more dynamic ranges of the clean singing like Periphery. Where they started doing, and again, it's another thing from Periphery, playing around with a lot of the synths.
Yeah.
So this album completely caught me off guard. It is really electronic heavy. There are some songs, and I think it's Ruin, where it feels like a ballad and it's just electronic noises.
Okay.
There's even interludes in between some songs.
Yeah.
And I removed them a lot because I'm like, I'm not listening to this.
Right.
Where it's just electronic intermission. And then there's other songs that after a breakdown or during a breakdown, it's flat out just electronic noises. And I'm like, guys, what the fuck are you doing? Now, again, I got what they were doing. Like, once I step back and I see what they're doing for the album, I'm like, hey, and I like, I've seen you on your phone, Felix. It's this tunnel. And it's like, it's them like, okay, that's the direction we're trying to get to. This is our right to get there.
Right.
And again, I give them mad props for not just being a bridge band and sticking out. I just don't like the way they stuck out.
Which is ironic because it almost looks like a bridge.
Yeah, which is great. It's great. It's a perfect analogy. I just don't like the way they stuck out. Again, I'm not mad. I just, man, that's not the approach I really wanted them, to go towards with those weird electronic noises that Periphery does. But I think Periphery does it and just like, it flourishes.
Yes.
Unprocessed took it in the route of like, dude, if I show Unprocessed to, like, let's say an EDM fan, someone a fan of electronic music, they could, let's say, tell me, I'm like, yo, this album plays like electronic album, but with a band.
Maybe.
And it's to me, it's very strange.
Yeah.
So now, to my points, Felix, what do you have to say about that?
I don't completely disagree. I see the bridge analogy a lot. But
yeah, between Tesseract.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But overall, it was a little techie, but I think that just comes with the territory. I think that just comes with them wanting to, one, maybe separate from, because it's almost evident that it's Periphery and Tesseract. That they're that's them. But I think maybe the electronic is where they want to niche themselves, or maybe they were trying to find something that would separate them from those two huge pillars. And to that, I say go for it. Do you want to keep on with that trend? I don't know. You got to wait for feedback. Some is going to be great. Some isn't going to be that good. I don't love it, but I respect it enough to keep listening to it.
Yeah. Again, I'm not dogging
that's
on
my
it.
thing.
Right. I'm going to keep listening to Unprocessed. Now, God forbid, let's say fucking album 4 or 5 or whatever or more, because I think this is their 4th album, because they have really old previous releases. But in this trend that they're going, I would not be shocked. I'd be a little surprised. No, let me reverse that. I will be shocked, but I won't be a little surprised if they do, like, let's say on an album that's almost all out electronic and only has maybe some bass parts and guitars.
Yeah.
But again, that's like a fear of like, again, you and I, Felix, we've been at this long enough. We just talked about Enter Shikari, where it just sounds like the singer is only playing on synths. I'm hearing from this album, Artificial Void from Unprocessed, I'm already hearing Minesweeper, where it's like it's still the old,
Yeah.
but I'm getting new stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, like on the album cover, that tunnel, I'm afraid of what's at the end of that tunnel.
Yep.
You
It's
got
not
me?
always, rainbows.
So right now, I'm liking the ride, but I'm kind of fearful of the destination.
Okay.
So I don't know. It seems like you're not like. I don't know. Are you on the fence?
I don't completely disagree.
Okay.
But I think there's more to it than I think this album requires a couple of good listens because
Yes.
I think it's gonna grow on.
Yes,
I think it's gonna grow on you.
That's a thing of
and
them.
on a lot of other people.
Yeah, that's the thing of Unprocessed. That's where they lean towards the Tesseract side.
Yeah.
Where they're not as patient with their music, but you could tell that they're intricate in sections. So those intricate sections
I think
require more of you.
That's the hook there. I think to people like us that are those patient listeners and know what to expect and we know what we like, I think those sections are the ones that are going to really grasp into us and, remind us of, hey, come back and listen to us. We come back and listen to this song. Because I just listening right now, I'm listening to Ruins. Just in Ruins.
That's a ballad, man.
Yeah, but just in Ruins as a ballad, beautiful song, I already see and hear the amazing bass work that drew me to Tesseract in the first place. So it's things like that make me there. I'm almost certain that are definitely going to make me revisit this album. And spoiler alert, I definitely see this as being one of my at least top 10s.
Damn.
In the year.
No,
I like it that much.
I don't see that. Maybe easily top 20. I don't know about top 10s. There's a whole lot of other good releases from previous.
That's also
there's a whole lot of new shit about to come out.
Exactly. So maybe I spoke too early,
but to your point of like repeat listen, it's true. When I listened to the album, it was one of those that I kind of shook my head. I was like, what's with all these electronic things? So I went back and I had to give it another listen, like a hearty listen, of not stopping. 2 back-to-back listens. And I was like, okay, I see what they're going. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like where they're going, but I give them props for what they're doing to stick out.
Yep.
A problem with the album, because of those intricate parts, because of some of those parts that require a little bit more from the listener, and those electronic flourishes that it's too many, one too many, or two too many. I think what boggles it down is the many listens requirements, and it makes it a moody album. Moody because the vocals, he does this whispering, dreamy state thing where again it's like Tesseract, but it's like Tesseract is oh my god, not Amos. Amos is the guitarist. Dude, why am I forgetting the singer?
I don't fucking know his name.
The singer of Tesseract, dude, and I know it.
They've been through a few, but the last one.
Yeah, no, the first one, which has now been back. Dude, why am I forgetting that?
I got you.
Whatever, but that singer of Tesseract, where he treats his vocals like another instrument, where it's not overbearing. And on Process, he knows it's a vocalist. Dan Tompkins from Tesseract. I don't know why I forgot that.
Not Elliot Coleman, by the way.
No, from Good Time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the singer of Unprocessed, he even screams.
Yep.
So he knows I'm a vocalist, and there are sections where he is going to be front and center, and maybe the bass will take a break, or guitar, or drums, or whatever, or sometimes go heavier to go along with more abrasive vocal performance. So, but there are other sections where it's breathy, it's airy. So again, so that switch is less jarring because they handle it well. So it's not like the era of the good cop, bad cop, light switch.
Yep.
It is a build up. It is a roller coaster, but you see it coming. You know where you're going and whatnot.
Yeah.
My problem is that it's so much. It's so many. It makes it a moody thing that you're making me require more listens. That to the point I'm like, I don't feel like it. Now, when I do feel like it, I have to.
Right.
I have to not listen to more than one song. When I feel like it, I have to commit to at least 4, 5, 6 songs, even if it's a short listen.
Right.
And if I do feel like it, I do want to do the whole album. So I give them props for that, but it's also a disadvantage of I won't feel like it for days,
right.
maybe
or
weeks,
months, probably.
or months. Right.
I would even say months, and I liked it.
Right.
So that's
Right.
just that.
So I'm glad that we're more or less on the same page of artificial voids by Unprocessed. That we like it. It is a mood. We like that they stick out, but let's see where the direction goes.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go. I don't know how. What do you feel about them? Let's say going more electronic.
No.
Right. I say keep it in the background. Keep it atmospheric.
Don't make it the forefront.
Yes.
Because you're gonna lose the avenue or the bridge that you so like eloquently established. For bands like this to succeed, in my opinion, it has to rely a lot on good vocals, good bass, and good general atmospheric electronic sound. The guitar, not so much. You'd be surprised how guitar work even in the Contortionist isn't really that necessary. It's because the band in and of itself comes together so well.
Right. They are.
There's no solo work or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's mainly just really good guitar work overall, bass and guitar. But you can't. The second you start relying too much on foreign, on foreign instruments like synthesizers or electronics, you start losing your core. And here in the Metal to the Core podcast, we're all about the core. You got to hold on to that, because if not, we're gonna have an issue. We're probably not gonna talk about you anymore.
That was such a good way to end it. We're gonna end it there, guys. We're Metal to the Core podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Send us your unsigned band music to @Metal to the Core podcast on Instagram and or Metal to the Core podcast @gmail.com. I was your host, Kevin to the Core. My co-host was Flex Felix.
That's it. Stay metal.
Stay metal, guys. Take it easy.